I never made it, but I know what it takes. I'm motivated by a mix of emotion. Got my statement, and I'm reading it slow so I can understand it fully. Appreciate my standing, go out of this world and ride on time.
Hey guys, welcome back to Equine Horsemanship. I'm not sure if you can tell, but my hair is blue, purple, and black. If you see Boog in the background freaking out, the neighbor's horses are out on the hillside, and I'm not going to turn him out to the field to go play with them because it is pouring down rain. And the more he runs around and tears around on wet ground, the less grass we will have next year. So grab a cup of tea because this is going to be a longer video, might be a part 2. I like that you guys are enjoying me playing around with intros. I think I'll keep them all and just insert them randomly. This channel is about horsemanship, but it's also about my life. It's going to be about my dogs, my cats, my family if they want me to share it, the horses that I work with, the horses that I'll end up owning. I want it to be kind of like a vlog channel, but I'm going to keep the name. So if you start seeing different content, if you don't want to watch it, you don't have to. Obviously, no one's forcing you. But today's video, beautiful, is going to be about bullying. A lot of people will not talk about bullying. They won't talk about it because they're afraid. I've spent too long being afraid of what people are going to say about it, if I'm going to be called a liar about it. These stories that I'm going to tell you happened back when I was a child to an early teenager. The first story is kind of sad because it happened at a Christian Bible camp for horseback riding. It's called Rodeo Bible Camp, and it's in Union, Oregon. And I went every single year except for the last 2 years because of what happened. So I'm not going to use names. I can't report things that have happened in the past because of the statute of limitations and the proof. So before I get started, there are a couple of school incidents. If you guys are getting bullied at school, whether it's by a teacher, I've had that, a principal, I've had that, or other students, I've had that. If you can, the day that it happens, try and kind of get around the time that it happened, the date, the year, obviously that's included with the date, and the place in which it happened of the school, and like what room if you can do that, who bullied you, and what they said. Try to write it down because I figured out with the schools that if you don't really have the proof, they're not going to look at the cameras, and I'll get to those stories in a few minutes. So, well, I've got Boog's butt by me. I was going to place you guys somewhere else, but I think I could put you guys over here. So what happened was I went to a camp, the one I just told you guys about. Let's see if this will work. And, oh, it does. Hi, baby. Anyways, I went to a horse camp with Frazier and Dolly. Dolly I never mentioned, she's a mare I had, and the lady who gave me her sadly just passed away, had cancer through her whole body. Anyways, I'm going to shut up and continue talking about the story. If I quit getting distracted about the horse. So, there was a girl at camp who I thought was my friend. Long story short, she wasn't. And there was another girl who, she didn't really like me, but she was nice to me. Her horse had some kind of health issue, and this was back when I was 16 or 17. I'm 23 now, so I don't really remember the condition that the horse had. But she was kind of like a diabetic. You know, you have to have your shots if your blood sugar is a certain level, or you have to eat something if your blood sugar is a certain level. I go out one night to water Frazier, and keep in mind, you're at a camp, so these stalls aren't even 12 by 12. It's like big enough for the horse to stand and pivot and turn, and I hated it. So they were a week long, And I would go out every night and every morning and lunge my horse on the racetrack with a 20-foot line so that, you know, he's used to a big pasture. He's never really been stalled ever in his life besides when he was a baby. And at that time, we thought he was in his 20s, but he was in his early 30s, if I did the math right. Long story short, I go out one night to check his water and take him out for his lunge. And the camp counselor told me, oh, he's fine. I go, he's not fine. He's never been in a stall, and this is a tiny stall at that. I'm gonna go work my horse. And she says, okay, just thank you for letting me know where you're going. And he smells my tea. And so I go out there, and I notice that this girl that's nice to me, that's not really my friend, I notice her horse is down. Again, this is a small stall. Her legs were underneath the fence, sticking out. She was groaning and kicking like she had colic. I ran in and got the counselor, ran in and found her. It was nighttime, so we were all in the bathroom getting ready for dinner and bed. And you want tea? Anyways, I ran in and got her and the counselor. And they came out and called the vet, and the girl had forgotten to give her horse the shot for the last couple of days. And without the shot, the horse would have died. Well, the girl that I thought was my friend was friends with her. Well, she was pissed off because she didn't get to be the hero. And I'll tell you how I know that in a second. So she had asked, the same girl that wanted to be the hero, had asked the counselor, can she carry the flag that year? The counselor said, yeah, but we have to have your parents' permission because you're all under 18. It's a 12 or 11 to 17 or 13 or 12 to 17. I don't remember. They changed the rules. I don't remember. But it was in that age range. You're under 18, so you cannot legally, at that camp, make the decision of what you can do with your horse. And, he's like, I'm not doing anything. Anyways, hey baby. And anyways, so her parents hadn't called back. So I asked her, if they don't call back, can I do it? And they're like, well, can you get your parents on the line? Because you know that's the issue we're having. I'm like, yeah. So I called my grandparents and my parents. Hey, can I carry the flag with Frazier? And that's the picture that you guys have seen on my intro. Or in my slideshows of me carrying the flag. They said yes, and it was like 3 days before the rodeo. At the end, you do a big rodeo competition. And, I can't, problem is I get sidetracked so easily. Anyways, so I carried the flag. Well, that pissed her off more. One day, I was out there with Frazier. One day I was out there with Frazier, and I was practicing the flag run with my coach. And we had been out there for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, warming him up, seeing how fast I could get him to go, how good I can control him with one hand. Can I brace the flag to where it's not shoving back and falling out of my hands? I had never carried a flag, but my horse had. So that's why I wanted to do it. And, so I go out there and I'm practicing, and all of a sudden the camp counselor comes out. She goes, I need to speak with you now. And my coach and I are like, whoa, you know, what's going on? She goes, get off the horse, your coach can untack him, let's go. And my coach is like, well, what's going on? And they pulled her aside and told her something. And she goes, well, she's been with me for the last hour and a half. There's no way she could have done that. And I'm sitting here thinking, what is going on? They take me up to where you check in, and the coach untacked my horse. She goes, you'll still be able to carry the flag. This will be your last year at camp. And I'm all, what? She goes, I know you didn't do it, but this is what's going on. They told me that a girl, the same girl that wanted to play hero, had went into the girls' bathroom and seen graffiti on the walls. This is a Christian Bible camp. You have to pay $120 to go for 5 days. The girl wrote bad things about Christ and the Lord and all that in red paint all over the bathroom walls. And I found that out 2 years ago that 2 years after that happened, that she did it and blamed it on me. But at the time, she told them that I did it. And I asked them, I go, let me see the handwriting. And they're like, no, we already washed it off. If this is done with spray paint on a concrete wall and it's had time to dry, wouldn't it be hard to get off? It wouldn't just all completely come off. I went in the bathroom after I got in trouble for doing something I didn't do, and it was completely spotless, like it had never happened. So 2 years after that, I had gotten a call from the camp counselor, and she goes, I am so sorry. And I go, what? What do you want? She goes, well, so-and-so admitted to it. I go, yeah, I know why she admitted to it. She goes, oh, why? I go, because she's the same age as me. It's her last year, so of course she's going to pay the money, be able to stay for the week, and there's no consequence. She got away with it. And they're like, oh, well, you can come. It's your last year. I couldn't come, even if I wanted to. My aunt was out of town with the horse trailer, and it's $120, and camp was in 2 days. I couldn't come up with the money in 2 days. So, that's the first story, and that's really sad that that happened at a Christian camp. I mean, that just, it pisses me off. Why would I pay $120 to go to a Christian camp and write graffiti on the wall when I have my coach and myself telling you, I didn't do it, and then 2 years later you believe me? That's kind of messed up. This next story, I was in middle school, and I didn't really care for sports, but I wanted to do volleyball to get out of class. So, stop it. He's over here pacing by the gate with his neck. Anyways, so we had won a game, and since I had joined the team, we hadn't won a game because, again, I sucked at it. And we won the game. And you know how middle schoolers are. You go to McDonald's after your game and you act like you're all cool and you're all that because you just won the volleyball game, right? So there was this girl who always kind of teased me and pick on me. And I hid inside the playhouse and I jumped out and went, bah! Like, scared the crap out of her. She got pissed off at me instead of taking it as a joke. Everybody was jumping out, scaring everybody. But, oh, the fact that Keisha did it is wrong because I was the unpopular, different kid in that class that everybody teased, everybody picked on. I got teased for a missing tooth. I have gotten teased because my nose is pointy because I've broken it twice. I have scars all over my head from cracking my head open. I'm fat. I have like a double and a triple chin. So I got teased a lot in school. You know, I was the different kid whose dad killed herself and had all these issues. Long story short, she went and told this girl that I scared her. This girl's mother was my teacher. Ironic, right? I'm in school the next day, and my teacher and the principal, like, went walking really, really fast towards me. And I'm, like, sitting here thinking, what the hell? You know, what's going on here? And all of a sudden, the principal's standing back, like, where Boog's butt is. The teacher's, like, where I'm at. And she's bent down like this in my face. And I got teased for being short, too. And I was in front of her. And all of a sudden, this is what comes out of her mouth. So if you're a child, don't listen to this part. Okay? This is what comes out of her mouth. If you ever fucking rape my daughter in public or touch her ever again, I will beat you over the head with a shovel. First of all, teacher threatening student in front of a principal allowing it. Second of all, I never touched her daughter. Third of all, if somebody were to rape somebody, why would they do it in public with plenty of witnesses? I never touched the girl. The girl was bigger than me, stronger than me. Both girls actually were. Taller than me. I had 5th graders who could take my butt down because I was so short and so little. And I was so skinny in middle school, it wasn't even funny. Towards the end of middle school, early high school is when I got chunkier. So, these kids could take my ass, and they're over here telling these adults that I'm raping them. So, if I had written that down, the time, the date, everything like that, that the principal made me go back to class with that teacher after that, and she didn't get in trouble. He sent us both back to class together. She still has her job to this day. If I had written that down, what had happened, yes, I told my parents, but since they didn't go back and look at the cameras, there was no proof. If I had written that down, I could have taken it to the police station, and the police station would have more than likely went back, looked at the cameras, turned on the audio, and there would have been the proof. But as a child, you're scared. You have two adults down in your face threatening you, threatening to beat you with a freaking shovel at that. I told my parents, it never happened that way. And then the principal, I wasn't there when that happened. You were standing right beside her. So that's the second story. Okay, same school. Well, let's go back to elementary school for a minute. In elementary school, there was a couple of girls who I actually know their families, and their families talk crap about them because of how horrible they treat other people. Just saying. So, I was going to the bathroom. And about from Borbugas to this post right here, there was a hallway from the bathroom to the lunchroom. Come out of the bathroom, halfway through the hallway right here, the principal comes up and grabs me by my arm. This is what pisses me off. Teachers are not supposed to touch you. They're not supposed to grab you. You know, they always grab your shoulders, they shove you, they put your hand on their back, and they hold your arm. They're not legally allowed to touch you. So if that is happening, go to an adult. I don't care how scared you are. Most police stations are by the school districts. Go after school or whatever. And just go tell an adult. Yes, it's not technically harming you, but they're not legally supposed to be touching you. I don't have any treats, Spook. They're not legally supposed to be touching you, and it's pissed me off a lot that teachers do that. Anyways, he takes me to the office, and he goes, so-and-so said you beat her up. Again, are you kidding me? I just walked out in front of you in the bathroom. Come on. So after about a week of in-school suspension and me telling them every single day I didn't touch the girl, they finally looked at the frickin' cameras and found out, oh, she didn't touch her. It was another kid. And for some reason, she blamed me. Ironic, right? Well, guess what? The girl who originally bullied and the girl who lied about who bullied her never got a consequence. And all I got was, go back to class. My kids will never go to school in LeGrand. I will take them to Union or Baker if I have to. LeGrand school system sucks. Sorry. The same school. A couple of weeks later, I believe it was. This is back in elementary school, so it's been a long time. Easy, baby. He wants to go play with the horses. So, a girl, I'm not going to mention name. We were in school, and she had a friend, and get this, I believe they're enemies now. Wonder why. She, was in the same class as me. We were in the special education class because we were either troublemakers or we were quiet. And it takes me about a month to warm up and really talk to people the way that I talk to you guys. You guys, I'm talking to my phone and I can decide if I want to air it or not. You know, so it's kind of easy. You'd be shocked how quiet I am in real life. Anyways, so it was just us three girls in the class. And the teacher left to go to the bathroom or get a drink or something. And all of a sudden, this girl punches her friend in the face, and there's blood everywhere. And I'm like, what just happened? Right? And I'm just like, oh my God, do you want me to go get somebody? They're like, no, it's okay. And they're laughing about it. And I'm sitting here thinking, what the hell just happened? And why is she laughing? She's got blood pouring down her face. Well, I knew exactly what they did afterwards. The teacher came back in. Both girls pointed to me. The girl whose nose was bloody automatically started crying and pointed to me and said that I did it. I was like, are you kidding me right now? So the principal grabs me and I go, nah, before you even put me in suspension, do me a favor and please look at the cameras. And he looked at me like, oh, she was telling the truth before. Oh, look now, right? He gave me that kind of oh shit look. He looked and they finally both got in trouble. The same girl who had the bloody nose in middle school the same school that told me that I molested or raped a girl in public. We were in shop class, and there's these machines, I forgot what they're called, but you put a piece of wood on them and you carve a bat or a wooden leg for a table or a chair or those kind of things on them. And there's a blade that goes across, and there's a little U-shaped tool that you hold by the handle like this, and you can decide if you want to do designs, if you want to deep carve, if you want a slightly lower carve, those types of things. Luckily, they were run by foot pedals. The same girl, okay, when she got her nose punched, it was in elementary school. When she did what I'm going to tell you, it was in middle school, the second year of middle school. So, we were in class, and we're using these foot pedals to run our machines, and they're going fast. Our teacher told us if we stick our finger in there while they're running even at medium speed, more than likely our finger is going to get chopped off like that. Why you would trust a bunch of middle school boys and girls with that, I don't know, but okay. So I'm standing there just carving my bat, right? She walks up behind me, and I'm going to use Boog as an example. If this is my back and my shoulder, this is her body, and she just, bam, shoved me into the freaking machine. My hand ended up on the bat, and luckily, as she did that, I tripped and my foot came off. Right as my hand hit the bat, the machine had already stopped. Her little ass ran upstairs and told the teacher that I did that to her. The funniest thing about that is in the shop class, they have an upper level, and that's where the teacher watches the students, because there's a lot of sharp, dangerous tools in there. And you've got young, immature kids, pretty much. Well, it's see-through glass as the wall. So he went along with it and said, oh yeah, Keisha did this to her, right? So he comes downstairs with her, pretending to be on her side, and looks at me and he goes, like that, to her, and he goes, now you tell her you're sorry and get your ass to the principal's office. And she was like, oh my god, he's seeing the whole thing upstairs through the glass. So that's instant karma, and you deserve it if you're watching these videos. That's the second time she's tried to get me in trouble. That it's like I never did that. So the whole point is, if you're afraid, go to the police. I mean, even if it's a simple thing as a teacher grabbing your arm, they're not supposed to be doing that. More than likely, if you go tell them that they're grabbing your arm, if there's no marks, they're more than likely not going to do anything. But what they might do is have a meeting saying, hey, you really need to keep your hands off the kids. You know, you're not legally supposed to be putting your hands on them. So, as for being called a rapist and being told that I bullied some kids and being told that I wrote forgery at a Christian Bible camp on their bathroom walls, if I had written down those times and incidents, maybe not at the Christian camp because they didn't have cameras, but most likely at the school when the teacher threatened me, I probably could have gotten her in trouble, and I don't think she should still be a teacher. You don't need to get down in the kid's face and threaten them when you have no evidence, no proof that they did something that your daughter's telling them that you did. Of course you're going to believe your daughter, but this is also the same teacher that was not going to tell this story because it's stupid, but the same teacher, we were making Indian huts. I think she was a social studies teacher. I think it was social studies. You have to make like these little Indian huts and stuff like that. And why are you smelling my jacket? Boog! You're distracting me! Thank you. You have to make these little Indian huts. And, we actually still have mine. My teacher said there wasn't enough little weapons on it. So we got a couple of twigs, like maybe like that big, tied them together, and hot glued them together, made some arrows, and got some fake plastic little rifles that were like that big and stuck them on there because she told me there wasn't enough. She did that to 2 students, I guess. And the other student didn't get in trouble. Well, guess what? I got in trouble for bringing dangerous weapons to school. It's a freaking twig, hot glued to another twig and a piece of twine, and a plastic rubber gun no bigger than not even an inch. And so I got in trouble for bringing weapons to school. In high school, I just found out a couple months ago I have a hearing issue. You guys have seen that video where I introduced that I'm wearing hearing aids. I have a hearing issue. I also have, if you guys can tell from this video, a focus issue. I get off track way easily. Too easy. And I also have an issue with my eyes. I can see fine, but if it's from a distance, I can't see the small letters or the medium. It has to be large. And I just found this out recently, actually. So, I was engaged for 3 years, and the guy lived with me. He was in a special needs class because he has autism. And you can actually barely tell that he has autism, but whatever. Anyways, they take me out of my class and took me into his class, which is a bigger class than mine. And my teacher literally looks me in the eye with the principal, again, right behind him, and says, "You're too stupid to be in this school. You need to get your shit and get out." Are you serious? You're gonna talk to a student like that instead of maybe trying to figure out what the problem is? Why they're having a hard time in school? Really? So, I've been bullied a lot, and I should have stood up for myself. I should have wrote down the times, the places, which part of the school it was in, so that they could look back at the cameras. I should have did a lot of things. Guys, don't make the same mistakes that I did and not stand up for yourself, because now that I have a voice, now that I have the balls to stand up for myself, it's too late. I don't know the dates. I don't know, which part of the, I know which one of the incidents of the part of the school was. Can you get your butt off of me? Come on. That I won't allow. He had his head in the corner and his butt on me. If he gets spooked, he's gonna go back on me. Anyways, if I could have written down at least a couple of those incidents, I know for a fact, at least a few of those incidents, there would have been consequences for the people. So don't wait like I did. Don't wait until you're 23 or 24 years old and you finally have a voice. Stand up for yourself now. Because I am I am sick and tired of being bullied. Like the other video when I ranted on the person telling me not to eat while I was doing a video, that's why I got so pissed. I have been bullied so much in my life. It's not even funny. My dad, the reason he killed himself is because he was bullied like me. He was shoved into lockers. He was tormented and teased his whole life because he was adopted. And every day I hear from my mom, "You're so much like your dad. You're so much like your dad." If my dad and I had stood up for ourselves, maybe he would still be here. Maybe those teachers would not be teachers. I don't know. Maybe that girl would have gotten in trouble for graffiti. So, just don't wait. Please. I'm begging you, please. I shouldn't have waited. Neither should you. Nobody talks about bullying. You need to talk about it. You need to get it out there. My sister's been bullied so much, my god sister, and it's bad. It's getting worse. I mean, people are telling them to go kill themselves. It's not a good situation. We need to stand up, and stand up now. When it happens, write down the date, the area you're at, who it was that was bullying you, what they said. Those types of things need to be written down and taken to the police. Because I guarantee you, if you have principals like I did, who stand there and let a teacher bully you, they're not going to do shit. Take it to a police officer. The teachers can deny it all they want. The cameras can't. The audio can't. The police can go back and get a warrant and look at that camera footage and for you that, oh, they can delete it. Cops are smart. Cops know how to go back and look at the deleted footage. Stand up for yourself. Stand up for your friends. Stand up for your family. Whoever it is, stand up for them, whether they appreciate it or not, before it gets out of hand and somebody loses life. Luckily, I'm not suicidal. I'm not depressed. I'm just pissed off at myself that I never stood up for myself. So, that is my bullying story. There's a bunch more that happened, but I'm not going to get into it because it's already a 30-minute video, and I think those are the most traumatic I think you'd want to say. Those are the most traumatic or distrusting ones that have happened. Like I said, if those teachers are still teachers and those principals are still principals when I have children, my kids won't be going to those schools. So I don't know if I already said this or not, but I want this to be kind of like my life channel. Horses, dogs, cats, personal. I want to name it 8 Pine Blogs or something like that, but I kind of like 8 Pine Horsemanship. So maybe 8 Pine Horsemanship Vlogs? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. And for the 3 people who've been commenting, 4 people who have been commenting, thank you. I've actually liked going down and reading your guys' comments. It's actually kind of, it's intriguing because it's like, you know, I have 21 subscribers. I had 24. I guess I lost a couple. I guess I was disinteresting to a few. But I want to grow as a channel, and I like responding back. You know, I don't really have any real friends in real life. I have people who want to be friends when they need something. So, yeah. That is my bullying stories, the most traumatic bullying stories. Stand up for yourself, and don't take it. Because if you do, those people have won. They have one up you and one over you, and they have treated you like shit just to get away with it. Write down what you can remember and do as much as you can to stand up for yourself. If you don't get anything accomplished, at least you tried, unlike me. So, yeah. My parents did try to do something to fix a couple of things, but of course, since we didn't have proof and I wasn't smart enough back then to write it down, nothing got fixed. So, do what you can. Don't be afraid to go to the police. The worst they're gonna tell you is you need more evidence. You need more proof. You need, you know, but then you can at least say you tried. Anyways, I'll keep playing around with the intros, and I will see you guys in my next video. I was gonna do a workout video today with the horse, but it is raining like crazy and super slick and super muddy. So I'm not doing that. I hope you guys learned something from this. I can't really say liked it because it's not a good thing if you liked bullying, but I hope you enjoyed learning something about me that you did not know. See you guys in the next video.